Now, see, there is a time difference between this clock and that clock.
Oh, this one's way off.
Yeah, I need
That's all.
fix.
Oh,
You sign it?
yeah, this one's
No.
way fast. Jeez.
There you go.
How weird does let us get out of here early? It makes us
So
think
in
it's
that
later
case,
than
it
it
would be
Yeah.
good. She does get to keep that.
Got to meet the new people moving in down by the Tomahawk.
Which place? Oh, they bought the
Bought the
townhouse.
house, yeah, they're real nice people.
Yeah.
They sold, Tomahawk sold?
No, the
You only
house.
sign that if you want
The
to.
house
It's
is,
next with that modular.
Yeah, I thought that was,
yeah.
that was who owned it, right?
Right,
Yeah,
it was.
Yeah, it was. They split it and they sold the house and 12 acres, I think.
Did they get the house sold?
Yep.
Is it somebody local or?
No, they're out of Texas, I believe.
Yeah.
They
Oh,
both
down
work
there.
from home.
Tomahawk.
I think it's $11.
Be nice to get somebody to open that restaurant now, somebody that could,
They were wondering about
what the
that.
hell? Get
Hey,
the right people in there.
Yeah. It wouldn't be bad.
How are you doing?
Good, how about you?
Good. Not looking forward to any more cold weather.
No, me either. I think it's just starting.
What do we got
Do you want one?
No, I'm good. I just listen.
I don't think he knows how to read.
I can sign my name.
Walk through it.
Which one of these funds are we gonna pull that money out of? Is there a cord in here?
What's that?
Is there a cord in here?
Oh, I should have done. I don't have.
No, we
anything
didn't
on
put
it.
a wood in there, did we?
You guys have never
Supposed to
given me
trust
anything on that stuff.
Hmm?
Yeah, or we can discuss it and you guys can think about it and.
Okay.
We're- Or you got it all with you?
No, not really, but it's not official anyways.
This is about right there.
Yeah, it would be nice to have a copy of that.
Well, I leave on one
That
side,
piece of paper.
for an overhang, put a little roof on it.
Mhm.
Well, we'll go by this clock.
We can do after.
Let's go ahead and have pledge allegiance. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. For tonight, it's a special meeting We called because we have a gentleman here in town who wants to put out a mobile home on a lot. And he wanted to get it done fairly quickly. So we're trying to go through the process, so we will get started with that. Steve Fender?
Fendler, yep.
Fendler? Yes.
Yep.
That would work though, Fender.
Fender work.
Fendler.
So I seen, so Jay gave me this that I had to fill out, so
Yes.
it's a little bit different than,
This is different than what we have.
yeah, this is different.
Yeah, that was basically, he had to go and inspect it and make sure that he's even allowed, that
That's,
if there's even it's legitimate to even ask for a permit, basically.
yeah.
So that's
That
why he
makes sure
filled
that he
that out.
follows all
And
the
then you
rules.
guys will
And
fill
then
out.
Jay made sure that he followed all the rules and everything for that. It is a little different for him, that's the beginning of this, of the process.
Yeah, it's similar to that page there that you have in your hand,
Yeah.
but it's,
Yeah,
Well,
that's
it's
just the
it's
initial
legitimate,
one
yeah.
that he's saying that it's okay for him to try for a permit.
And then we go through a different process for everybody to ask questions.
Yeah.
and see what- and then
Paperwork.
It's up to the council to decide whether they want you to or not.
alright.
So nothing's been done so far? We haven't moved anything on there, right?
No.
We're just,
No,
So explain to us a little bit about what you wanna do.
okay. Oh, sorry,
I
I don't
believe
have
you put
a map
it,
I can show everybody, but.
we all should
So
have a
I did,
copy of.
we have.
a Google, yeah, so I did, yeah, basically. It's very similar to what Jay has drawn up, I think, in your guys'
Yep, we
deal
have
here,
a
but,
copy of it here.
so I did, this is off of Google Earth, but very similar to what he drew out too, so that's, these are the dimensions, because it says in there you have to have some dimensions, so along the ditch, this backside, this is the roundabout, Cactus Drive, I guess you call it roundabout, whatever. Anyway, this is along the ditch, it's 120 foot here, this fence on the west side, and 120 feet, there's no real fence there. The only thing that's really different about this picture than now is everything is cleaned up and gone. This is a picture when Elmer Halverson still lived there. So,
Halverson's property?
pardon me?
That's the old Halverson place?
Yeah, Elmer's place, yep. Yep, so everything is gone, so this is the Elmer's old house, and then there's this little shed here. This shed is still here, and there is this shed that I moved over to here. Otherwise, all this has been cleaned out.
So the house remains,
The house, yep, the house remains here.
and then one of those
And-
shops.
Yeah, this is a
Shed.
shop, these are his RVs
Oh,
and
okay.
cars, so
Yeah,
that
you can
looks,
see down here,
Yeah.
here's the shop,
Yep.
here's the house.
Yep.
And he moved that other building over to here.
yep, so this one here, this square dark one, which I don't know if it's really on cadastral, it's a little bit different. That has been, it just moves over here. And I guess this shed is also still here in that corner, yep.
Yep.
That
right
white
here.
one there. So otherwise, it's all cleaned up everything, all the garbage, all the vehicles, all of everything, gone, cleaned up.
Okay.
So, like Jay has on here, this is not the scale, cause I'm not an artiste, but it'd basically be half of this. Cause this is a double wide modular. So it'd be half of this, so took that square and moved it over here, and that's kinda where I was thinking about putting it. You know, you can do a 15 or 20 foot offset. The folks that live here put up a new fence along here 2 years ago, probably 3 years ago. There's one Elmer still had it.
Mhm.
Okay.
So there is a fence here that Google Earth doesn't show. So we could go 15, 20 feet off that fence, whatever. I think the minimum is 15, but if you guys want to go 20, I don't know.
So what's the purpose of the new structure? Are you gonna be living in it?
No, so where it's coming from, so 12 years ago, when I bought the shop property that I have in Bridger, I inherited with it Marguerite Haig is her name, and she has the trailer right next to my shop. And it's always been there for 35 years. She got a new trailer, it's in 2014. So her old one was done, so they moved it in there. So she's been there for 35 years or something. The problem with the way my property lies is I can't do anything further as far as addition onto my shop, because the trailer's there. And she doesn't have any money, plain and simple. And, you know, it's like uprooting her really, I mean, to the core. She's been there forever. And Bridger doesn't allow single wide trailers. So I even looked at buying a couple little lots in Bridger that I could move her to, and she can't because of the ordinances, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So, when I looked at, I didn't really want to buy Elmer Halverson's, but we didn't have any way to go to the VA down in Wyoming unless someone bought a property, so I bought that property and it was zoned for trailers. I thought, well, it already has the other hookup over there that was there previous.
That's this meter stop that we see on the deal?
Yeah,
That one?
yeah, there's a water pit there.
Right.
So there was already there, and Elmer
Was
told me
there a
that
house
there
there
used
at
to.
some time?
There was.
Yeah.
Yeah, we discussed this in light of Steve, if you don't mind.
Yeah.
We discussed this when Hope was here, and
Yeah.
he was told he had to go, but me and Hope had discussed the fact that their Beeklers had a trailer there,
Mhm.
Mike and Rhonda, and then they moved the trailer out, and then they moved the modula that Elmer lived in to a different location and ran a different hookup. And so Hope had said at that time, it's absolutely fine for that one hookup and where it is zoned that way.
Mhm.
That's what she had clarified that night.
Yeah. So that's how we got to this point. I was just, in a roundabout way, I bought the property so Elmer could move to a different VA. He's in his, you guys all probably know, he's in his 90s, World War II vet. And he wanted to go to a different VA. And move back to Black Hills. So I bought that, and he says, yeah, that hookup would work really good for another trailer. And then I came to town council a couple years ago, so roughly ago, and Hope interpreted it that we had to go through a subdivision process. And when I talked to the county, they said they didn't have to, because it was a lot inside the town of Fromberg. And it's the same property, you know, you don't have to make it separate properties. You would if you were trying to sell an individual lot to somebody else.
Tim, were you on the council when that was, when that came up?
Yes, I was.
Okay, you remember the conversation?
Kind of. I understand that you were gonna bring in several trailers?
Yeah, I thought about, you know, as far as like putting another one here and another one there. And then, you know, it would require, you know, obviously, 2 more services. Well, just abandon that and just go to this.
That's no longer the plan,
No, not right
in the
now.
near future. Okay.
Well, I was, somewhere I thought if they said if you were gonna put in 3 or more,
You had to go
Trailers.
through the county was my understanding.
yes.
But the
and-
one with the already hookup was my understanding was good to go
Yeah,
that night.
So,
so,
somewhere it kinda got finagled and,
yeah, cause I remember the time somebody had asked, I don't know, because you came in and you talked about it and then it would just drop.
yeah.
We never saw you again after
Well,
that.
I met with the, I can't say his name, the DEQ for the Carbon County. Anyway, he's out of Columbus. And we went up there and looked at it, and there was, I mean, it was like a laundry list of stuff.
That you had to go through?
Oh, my,
Yeah.
for the subdivision process, but then when I talked to some of the folks at the county, they're like, well, no, it's a lot inside town, it's not in the county.
Right.
Even, you know, it is in the county, but it's not in the county.
It's our jurisdiction.
Municipality
But you
from,
would have to basically qualify.
So
if you're gonna
then-
Put in that many, so.
then it went, you know, Kirsten said that the town was working on adopting a whole new set of ordinances of everything, and she told me to wait until that whole thing ended before we,
Start that process.
yeah, started again.
I can tell you,
That's what she told me.
our attorneys are working on it.
Oh, they're still,
Yeah,
oh, they're still working
Still
on
working
it.
on it.
Okay,
Yeah,
she
we've
told me
already-
that
That's what they
in
say.
October, when I asked her about it, she said, oh, they're really close, so. I don't know, maybe not.
We've gotta have a
Anyway.
resolution for it, you know.
So I kinda abandoned the other two trailer things, you know, I just thought about, you know, cause there's not a lot of places for people, it seems like the,
So the trailer that you're planning on moving in there, is it the one that's in Bridger, or is
Yes,
it a new one?
it's the one in Bridger,
Okay.
yeah.
What kind of shape is it in?
How old is it?
It's a 2014.
Oh, that's same as mine,
That's within 10 years, so
yeah.
that's only 8 years old.
8
That's
years
almost
old.
brand new in most standards here.
I mean,
Yeah.
I can't speak for the inside, but the outside. yeah.
Basically, they go by the year.
Oh, yeah.
I thought that they were saying, you know, something about, had to be 10 years.
10
older.
years or newer.
And Jay went up and looked to make sure that you were within the, you know, the guidelines of
Setbacks?
setbacks and all that stuff.
It's a nice looking trailer.
Yeah.
So. And what do you have to say about it, Jay?
I think it'd be nice.
Think it'd be a nice addition up there?
It would look nice.
Okay. No, that's.
It's not an eyesore.
No.
Nice. Okay.
No, it's not a nice word, I'll put it that way. She
Where are you
is
gonna set it on?
harmless, I can tell you that.
What are you gonna set it on?
Yeah, there
What do
are
you
some-
guys want?
there are
I
some-
don't know what it's set on now, I know it's, got hurricane anchors, or whatever they call
Yeah,
it,
they
tornado anchors, or
It has to be anchored.
whatever it is.
We
it's-
have some restrictions in that regard.
Mhm.
And I don't know whether or not you've pursued that, but
There.
Whatever you gotta
You can put
do.
in a concrete wall, however, they make concrete slabs.
It's a single wide, it doesn't have to be on a foundation.
manufactured, it's single wide. It's just a
Single
single
wide.
Whatever you guys require, I guess that's what we'll do, I mean.
Okay.
let's round that up, make sure that that's
Make sure.
being adhered to.
Yeah, I think
I don't see a problem.
it's not the Pierce place, it's the,
The only reason I was thinking about the concrete, is because we went up and looked at that trailer house up here at the end of the street, and he had to have some kind of a concrete slabs go around for skirting. I
That's
don't
the
recall,
one
is that a?
But not on a single
double
wide.
Or is that a single wide up there?
Not on a single wide, you don't.
Not on a
But
single wide?
he's got that new stuff you put around it that they consider as a foundation.
Yeah,
That's
Yeah, it's
why
like basically a beefed up insulated Durarock.
it's a good siding and support,
no, single wide.
but as long as you have it.
We will double check that though, to make sure that,
I guess if,
but it's gonna be a little
It
bit of
has
time
ink.
before you get it moved in anyway, right?
yeah, would have to wait for frost out, you know, probably,
Okay.
finish the water and all that sort of.
I'm ready to make a motion if there's anybody else that has any questions.
Anybody in the audience, questions?
You gonna have any restrictions on how they keep the place once you move them in there? So it doesn't look like Third Street or Third Avenue? It's a trailer park down there.
Right, okay.
What they've done is they moved in extra campers and all kinds of stuff. It's not sitting on the middle of the road, it's not blocking any traffic or anything, but
Looks like
a
a dump hole.
eyesore. Yeah.
Yeah.
And that's a question we could ask half the city.
Yeah, but I can,
You say the
so
effort
I
used
can
by
tell you,
the
you know, the Marguerite is, boy, she might be 70. I don't know how old she is.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
like
guess
70.
70, and her daughter Alice Marie is gotta be 42,
So if their yard's
43.
neat and
And they're not, yeah,
Well, just as
I
long
mean, if
as
you're
somebody keeps
curious,
up
I mean,
on it.
you can go down to where they live now and look.
Well, will you as a landowner, will you
But-
keep up, look, make sure?
Try to, yeah, I've been,
Okay.
I mean, I cleaned up,
You improved
I
it.
cleaned up a lot of stuff, I'll tell you that.
The
I
effort
mean,
you put in already speaks for the way
Okay,
it's
well-
gonna be taken care of.
I mean, so
Ready?
far.
I am ready to make
Anybody else?
Dave's made a motion,
I make a motion to approve.
I'll second that.
a motion and a second to approve Steve Fendler to move in a trailer house at 21 Cactus Drive, all in favor?
Aye.
Okay, there you go, Steve. And we'll just double check, see what,
Yeah, I
that
guess
there's no
maybe
restrictions as
whatever
far as
the,
what you put along there for sure.
what your guys' requirements are for the anchoring.
Yeah, well, the anchors.
And skirting.
Anchors
Skirting, yeah, it does have skirting.
should tie it down
It gets
because
windy up
the
there.
wind does blow.
Yeah. You want it tied down pretty good. That's just, I would think if you went to Pierce Mobile Homes or whatever and asked them what the standards are, they would tell you what you have to have and they'll tell you what you need to do it.
Yeah, no, I don't plan on doing it myself. I have to pay someone to do it.
Okay.
I-
Well, that's
I'm not, that's not my area, to be honest with you,
Always
so
better sometimes.
better have a professional do it and do it right.
Okay.
And you
That's my
realize
opinion.
that there will be 2 services on that lot, right?
Yeah, there is, yeah.
That you'll be.
Yeah, there's 2
You already
pits.
paid.
Now,
Yep.
there is a sewer hook up there also, right?
Yep, yep, it's all there.
Okay, otherwise,
Okay.
we need additional costs. Okay, so then when you get it up there, it's just up to,
And then is
You
there
guys
an
did anything?
application fee or any of that?
There's a hookup fee,
yeah,
Okay.
hookup fee.
and I don't know whether we've revised those or they're the same.
No,
as
they're
they
the
have
same.
been.
I'm trying to think what they are.
How about
You'll have to
the
give
water?
We have a schedule
Yeah.
of costs in the office, just ask.
Yeah, I can grab one.
Yeah.
How about the water meters?
Meters in
Is the
place.
property owner paying for the water meters, or?
Yeah, I paid for a new one there.
Well, actually, I believe the town pays for the water meters,
Yeah.
as is the last time we discussed it.
That's a different issue
Yeah.
that we're not discussing.
Yep, we're not gonna get into the water meter issue.
Well, we have 2 things going on tonight.
Oh.
Move to the second.
Okay, so it's passed and approved. Let's move on to the next subject. Discussion and approval for funding for a possible storage shed.
I thought we did that at the last meeting.
We just discussed it,
We just kind of discussed it.
and I don't know whether or not we're doing anything other than that tonight, are we?
Well, we're talking about it
We
and
don't have a bid,
we don't
so
have the bid.
there's absolutely no way we can approve anything
Okay,
if we don't have a bid.
okay.
Yeah, I'd say just get a couple sets of numbers and I feel we're all
Well-
pretty much in the same direction that we
Yeah.
want.
I think
Here's kind of
everybody
what we're
feels like
looking
it's a
at.
good idea.
Is a 20 by 20 like that for about $13,000. It's got 2 overhead doors and a walk-in door, and we don't want any windows in it. All it seems like we're gonna put it down there on the slab down there by the ball field.
Gonna have skylights or power to it, so you do have
It's gonna
light.
have power to it, yes.
Okay,
Put
so
light
you
in
can,
it and a plug-in for it.
so you can get there at night.
Yep.
And
Yes,
not heated.
So this is automatically going at the ball field.
Mhm.
in that concrete slab
That's the
there, yes.
proposal.
Yep.
Would you like to comment?
I just feel like we have invaded on, parks are something that are a selling point for your community. Okay, they're, something that should be, kind of a deal for kids, and especially in a town like this, we have very little for children. We have other opportunities for places like this. I mean, I guess I'm not too enthralled with the plan right now. We're like looking at a building. We haven't talked about where people are pulling in and out of, which direction their traffic is coming from, or, you know, for this
Well,
storage.
apparently you know where the concrete slab is down there in the corner?
I did go find
And
out
it-
where the concrete slab is, but your advertising, I hear about this at the last meeting, and it's a concrete slab in the ballpark.
Yeah.
And nobody is said, listen, it's in the southeast corner, at the basketball court, at the back end of it. And I'm not hearing where people are going to be pulling in and out of this storage unit. There's a lot of things I think to consider when you bring a proposal. I mean, I wanna hear the bones to this thing.
Well, I tell you,
What was the slab originally poured for?
There's a basketball court.
And that's the other thing, I went down and looked at the today. And I'm like going, I mean, it's cracked, you know.
Can't pour a slab without being cracked.
Well, yeah, but I
mean,
mean, you're talking, it's
you know,
been there,
it's been
sitting there
exposed
for,
to the elements for how many years?
Yeah.
well,
Yeah, so,
yeah.
you know,
And is it gonna pass-
deteriorates concrete when it's out in the wide open. I got a problem with mine over there at the house.
Is that the case here though, you know that?
I don't know, how long has that slab been down there?
I don't know.
It's set out in the elements,
Yeah.
sit through the weather, the
Whoever
sun.
did
Sure.
it, did a really good job.
You know, is
It's
it safe
actually in
enough to
really
put a
good shape.
building on?
It was there
It's
long.
also gonna benefit the ballpark because they can store extra.
Well, that was the point I was gonna bring up. I mean, you bring up a point that the park is something that we should be proud of, and in reality, that's kind of what this is geared towards, is having the equipment by the park, and it'll probably make it a little bit easier to keep the park looking better if the equipment is right there on the location.
what equipment are we talking, see,
Well,
like I
here-
said,
Lawn
there's
mowers and stuff like that.
lawnmowers and what other?
What,
What we're gonna use that building for, is we have a whole bunch of pipe and plumbing stuff and water stuff that we keep in this shop down here. We can't hardly park a vehicle in there because we got so much,
Jam.
we got stuff in there. I won't call it junk because everything in there has a use. But if we have another building where we can take, and there's a floor in this building which will be on skids. It won't be anchored down to the pad. They may have to require anchor being a commercial building, but it's on skids. But we wanna move this equipment or this stuff out of the shop, out of that other room. We have road signs, pieces of plywood, we got all kinds of advertising stuff in there, Christmas stuff in there. All that stuff needs to go someplace, so that when we go to get it once a year, we're not tripping over everything to get to it. And that makes this shop a usable shop. Because right now, you can't hardly get to a workbench. And it's not,
I'm not saying that, but I'm saying us as a community and taxpayers, we have no vision as to what you're trying to do. Until I come in here
no, I
and
understand.
you're spending our tax dollars, and I think a proposal needs to be made up before you present it to us. And as to exactly what, you know, because I had somebody tonight say, I can't make it, I'm concerned, what's going on down there? And they were at the last meeting, now, it wasn't me, you know?
Well, we discussed this the last meeting, that we're gonna put all this stuff in this building, we're gonna put shelves in it, and it'll be a place where we can store our lawnmowers. And during the summer, we may put a little bit of gasoline in it, a can of gas, so that when they run close to being out of gas on the other side mowing the park, they don't have to come across the highway and come all the way over to the shop to get gas. and then rode the machine back over there. It takes 15, 20 minutes, where they could be making another couple rounds at the ball field.
Is that slab, does it, the water puddle on that slab?
Not horrible.
Is
It
it
was not
sloped?
puddled today,
Yeah,
It's
which
not
I
really
was
great.
kind of, but, I mean, I don't know, I couldn't see it the other day, 'cause I drove.
I'd never seen it with
that
water.
would be a concern of mine, is whether or not that
What's,
water would.
what's the use of the building sitting next to the main shop?
Well, right now,
It
it's
looks
got,
like it's got a dirt floor in it. I looked at it, I'll be honest with you, there isn't anything in that building beside the little pipe on the ground, some signs hanging on the wall.
there's pipe on the ground. and there's-
Wouldn't it be cheap to build some racks to put that pipe on, where you didn't take up so much room on the dirt floor?
Well,
It'd
we
be a hell of a
have,
lot cheaper than putting up a new building.
well, I'm not so sure. For $13,000, we can get a building.
It's, the building comes in built, or
It
it?
comes in built,
Okay.
2 pieces, bolted together. And if you go down to Rockville and look at the 2-car garage they got there, Jay and I did the other day, it is built very well. I was impressed. It looks like it has 16-inch centers for the walls.
The Amish
2x4s?
at Lewistown are the ones that build those
Yeah.
for them.
2x6 rafters in the wall, 2x6 floor joists with 3/4 inch plywood, tongue grooved on the floor. And they're about a foot apart on the floor. So it's more than capable if we want to pull a pickup, a car, or what we were thought, our little skid steer, take it in, because we got a extremely heavy fire hydrant that we step on a lot in the shop.
Why don't you put it in?
What's that?
Why
Fire
don't you
hydrant?
put it in?
On the fire hydrant?
Yeah, it was bought 5 years ago for Lover's Lane.
Yeah.
Just asking.
It does, it needs to be put in.
And we kind of watch the meetings and stuff. I quit kind of coming. But to answer your question, first of all, there is a cement floor in that little tin building.
Okay.
It ain't much of a cement floor, but it is there.
Okay.
The biggest issue with that building, it was the same issue we had back when I was doing it, is the doors. They need to be reworked.
Okay.
If you could rework it. But to a certain degree, I understand what you're saying, Tim. To a certain degree, I'll let you all know, I had every piece of that equipment that we have, with the exception of the grader, in that building all winter long. And we were still able to work in there. There's plenty of room in there if the things are put away and cleaned up right. That tin building, that's where we used to keep tobacco. I mean, we had other ideas. We had ideas of pulling out that center wall. If we did that center wall between the tin building and the regular building and redid the floor a little bit, you could put the grader in there and everything else in there. You could have everything in that building. I understand